Hello, algebra students. We are going to do a little review here over the stuff we've done. The semester is ending, and we're going to have a little quest. This will be the last chance to improve your grade or, solidify your grade. Anyway, we're going to review the types of problems that we've done since we've come back from break. All right, so first of all, flying into the wind, Bob is able to travel 540 miles in 4 hours. Right off the bat, I've got the equation d equals RT going on in my head. And the distance is going to be divided by my time, so I'm going to put the rate right here. It's going to be 540 divided by 4, and that's the same as 270 over 2, which is 135 miles per hour. 540 divided by 4. Okay, that is all from right here. Okay, and that's into the wind. So my first equation, Bob flying into the wind. Well, you're going to have Bob's speed, and then you're going to subtract the wind because it's slowing him down. He's going to be traveling at 135 miles per hour. Okay. Now, I didn't even finish reading it, but because I saw a distance and a time, I immediately went to distance equals rate times time. Okay, the return trip with the wind at his back, well, that would be Bob's speed plus the wind pushing him along. Okay, only takes 3 hours. Well, I'm going to have the 540 divided by 3. That'll be the new R. I'll call R sub B. That's her rate of Bob. And let me see, 54. I'm thinking 17. No, 18, right? Yeah, it's going to be 180 miles per hour. Okay, so we got 180 there. Well, I have to find out how fast the two are going. Well, I'm going to do this by elimination. I'm going to get 2B, and that's going to equal 315 miles per hour. Divide by 2, and I'll come on over here. 315, and I'll divide by 2. Cut in half, other words. Okay, 11. I'm going to get a 5 there. It's going to be a 10. I'm going to have 15. I'm going to get a 7, 14, and I'm going to have a decimal point, and I'm going to have a 0.5. So Bob's speed is going to be 157 and a half miles per hour. All right. Well, I can do the 157.5 plus W equals 180. So I'll subtract 157 and a half minus 157.5. Okay. And again, I just like to reason this out. I mean, I can do it the math way, but just a reason. If this was 80 minus 57, I'd be at 23, right? 80 minus 57 be 23. But I have to take another half away, so I'm down to 22 and a half. And so therefore the wind speed is 22 and a half miles per hour. And there you go. Pretty simple problem. Not a very good circle drawn around it, but a pretty simple problem nonetheless. All right. Sally has 127 coins in nickels and dimes. So let n equal the number of nickels, d equal the number of dimes, right? Points total $8.15. Well, I'm going to need the number of nickels plus the number of dimes, and that's going to equal 127. Then I'm going to multiply the nickels by their value, multiply the dimes by their value. So it's the money from the nickels plus the money from dimes, and that's going to equal the total money, $8.15. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I think I'm going to solve for D. So D is going to equal 127 minus N. So I'm going to get 0.05 N plus 0.10 times 127 minus N, right? Equals the 815. So 0.05 N plus 12.7 minus 0.10 and equals 815. Combining the like terms gives me negative 0.05 n. Okay, and then subtracting 12.7 and 815. Now, remember that 815 is the positive. The 12.70 is the negative. So I'm going to subtract it this way, but then I'm going to change my answer to be negative. So I believe we have 4, 5, and a 5 there. So I'm going to get a negative 4.55. And then I'm going to divide by negative 0.05, divide by negative 0.05. So the number of nickels is going to be equal to 91, right? And so now I know that 91 plus D equals 127. Subtracting 91, it looks like D is going to be 36. So there are 91 nickels and 36 dimes. And there we go. There's our answer. Okay, number 3, chemistry problem. You guys should be really good at these. I'm going to let X equal the ounces of the 80% solution. Y is going to equal the ounces of the 60% solution. I know I need a total of 300 ounces, so I'm going to go X plus Y is going to equal 300. And then I'm going to have 0.8 X plus 0.6 Y, and that's got to equal 45. Oh, I have a mistake here. It needs to make 60% solution, so this is my mistake right here. Oops, there it is. That should be a 0.45 or a 45%. And so here I should have a 0.45 Y, and then of course I should have 0.6 times 300. Now, 10% of 300 is 30. 6 30s would be 180, right? Yeah, so it'd be 180. Okay, gonna solve for X, I believe. 300 minus Y. So I'm gonna have 0.8 times 300 minus Y plus 0.45Y equals 180. Yeah. All right. I need 80%. Well, 10% is 30. 8 30s would be 240 minus 0.8Y plus 0.45Y, 180. Oh, negative 0.35Y, combining like terms. And of course, I'm subtracting 240 from 180. I'll do it this way. And that's what, going to be 60. So I'm going to get a negative 60. All right, divided by negative 0.35, divided by negative 0.35. And so Y is going to equal approximately 171.43 ounces. That is a rounded answer. Okay. And then X is going to equal 300 minus 171.43. Which should come out to be 128.57, yeah, ounces. Okay, there you go. The chemistry problem is done. And let's move on to an age problem, and then we'll get to the more recent stuff. All right, today, so let me see here. Today, Jenny's mom is 3 times as old as Jenny, so let J equal Jenny's age today, and then M is going to be the mom's age. Again, we're talking about today. So today, Jenny's mom is 3 times as old as Jenny. So if I've got Jenny, I have to triple her age so that it equals the mom's. That's my first equation. In 20 years, well, Jenny in 20 years will be J plus 20. Mom in 20 years will be M plus 20. The mom will be 3 more than twice as old as Jenny. So I need to double that. But if I double them, they're not equal. Mom's still 3 more than that, so I got to give Jenny 3 more. And there we go. Okay. So I'm going to substitute. I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to distribute here. And so I'm going to get 2J plus 40 plus 3 equals M. No, equals 3J, which you can't read. There we go. Let's try that again. 3J plus 20. Okay, so I'm going to combine those to get 43. And then I'm going to subtract 2J from both sides. I'm also going to subtract 20 from both sides. The right-hand side, I'm going to get a J. The left-hand side, I'm going to get 23. Jenny is 23 years old. Mom, so Jenny is 23 years old. Mom is 3 times that, which is 69 years old. There you go. Okay, that's it for the story problems. The rest of the problems should go a little bit quicker. Remember that when I'm multiplying like bases, I'm going to add exponents. So I chose to use a distribution problem for my multiplication. And so here I'm going to go 12 times 3, which is 36. X to the 6 times x to the 4th is x to the 10th. Because there's 6 x's and there's 4 more x's being multiplied. Altogether, there's 10 x's. Now, 12 times 2 is 24. X to the 6 times x squared is x to the 8th. And this problem is done. You can't solve for x because there is no equal sign. And you can't combine these because they're not like terms. That's x to the 10th and that's x to the 8th. They would have to match for you to be able to combine them. All right, in a division problem, we're going to subtract exponents. So I'm going to divide x to the 8th by x to the 6th, and that's going to get me an x squared. Now 24 doesn't go into 44 evenly, but I do know I can divide them both by 4. See, what really is going on here is I have 44 24ths. I'll divide them both by 4, get 11, and get 6. So I'm going to write my answer as 11x squared over 6. And there you go. All right, remember a negative exponent means to use the stairs. I do 7 squared to get 49, but since it's a negative, I put it in the denominator. And a non-zero number raised to the power of 0 is 1. Okay? When I have a power raised to the power, I multiply the exponents because this really means that there are 3 x to the 7ths being multiplied. Well, that would be 21 x to the 7ths. Excuse me, it would be 21 x's altogether, x to the 21st. Okay, now number 10, I have a problem like this. Simplify here. That's going to give me 5 over 1. So my new fraction is going to have a 5 in the numerator. X to the 8th over x to the 10th is going to be x to the negative 2nd, right? But then I'll take it downstairs. Okay, this guy's going to go upstairs. I'll have y to the 7 times y to the 4th. That'll be y to the 11th. This guy's going to go downstairs. Z to the 5th times z to the 6th, which will be z to the 11th. And then the whole thing is raised to the negative 2nd. Well, that negative on the exponent of 2 means I'm going to use the reciprocal and get x squared z to the 11th over 5y to the 11th. I still need to square everything. X squared squared is x to the 4th. Z to the 11th squared is z to the 22nd over 25y to the 22nd. And there we go. That's it. All right. That's your review video. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.